Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
And I'm Sean Liang.
And I'm Oscar Moreno.
Yes, Oscar, you are here with us. First time in a while.
Yeah,
it's been quite a while. You missed out on Wrestling Month. You didn't miss out. You missed out on it, but not really.
Stuff happened.
I think everyone would like to wipe it from their collective memory.
Yeah. Now.
I feel enriched. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. So today we're going to be talking about another Werner Herzog feature-length film, Fitzcarraldo from 1982. It is one of it's another one of the Werner Herzog Klaus Kinski collaborations. But before we talk about that film, Oscar, have you been watching anything this week?
Yeah, I watched High Rise, the new Tom Hiddleston movie, and I didn't like it very much. It was interesting, but it didn't really do much for me, and almost turned it off like after 30 minutes because I think that it's a movie with a pretty high concept sort of, but it doesn't really give you characters you can really attach to take you through the story. And I mean, I'm not saying a movie has to have that, but I think it would have helped in this particular story because I just couldn't connect to any of the characters or the situations.
I don't even think I've seen a trailer for that movie.
It's a Ben Wheatley movie, right?
Yeah.
It's coming out pretty soon, like everywhere. But yeah, it's been kind of low key. I mean, no pun intended. I
just got it.
It's been because it's a very minor release. I think it's kind of weird because I see some of the posters they have in the UK and they treat it as a big movie, it seems, but it's really not them. I don't know. It's I gotta respect the what they're doing in the UK to promote it. They're doing some huge posters and stuff for it because I don't think they do that in the States or anywhere else. For such a high concept, relatively low budget and complicated film as that one. But I just wasn't a fan. I didn't really like it much.
I think Ben Wheatley's okay.
I haven't seen anything else by him.
Kill List is good. I don't think it's like the best thing ever. I know people that seem to think it's some really great thing. He's all right. I had really no interest in seeing High Rise, and you kind of saying that it's not that great.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Yeah, I don't recognize. I don't know. It's interesting. It comes out supposedly next week in America.
Yeah, it's not getting a wide release, I'm assuming. So, yeah. Sean, you been watching anything?
I have not seen. I mean, other than Civil War, which we'll be talking about later this week. But no, I haven't seen a whole lot. I've been pretty busy, actually.
Yeah, I haven't watched anything either, so.
Because you're not.
Well, actually, I watched The Boss.
Oh, really?
Why?
I'm excited to hear what you think.
I feel that's why you're sick right now, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know why I watched it, dude.
I'm gonna.
Fucking my fiance wanted to watch it, and I wasn't gonna go in another room and do anything, so I sat there and kind of watched it.
Oh my god, I'll watch it.
God, it just further reinforces the fact that Melissa McCarthy is not funny.
Oh, are you kidding me? She's not funny, man.
Sorry,
I love her.
Just because you're a fat woman doesn't mean you're funny. Just because you're fat doesn't mean you're funny.
That's true, but
like really, and she's not funny. Like her shtick is so old.
I agree.
It's just like foul-mouthed fat lady, ha ha ha. Like that's her whole shtick. That's her whole shtick. Fat, foul-mouthed lady. Because women aren't traditionally supposed to say those things. You know what I mean? It just feels repetitive, and I can't wait to see how trashy the new Ghostbusters movie is. So, oh god.
But how do you really feel?
That's how I feel. There's no question in my mind as to how I feel. Let's talk about Fitzcarraldo. Let's talk about something that's good, rather than things that we watched that were disappointing and or just outright bad. Film came out in 1982, directed by Werner Herzog, and stars Klaus Kinski in the title role of Brian Sweeney Fitzgerald, a.k.a. Fitzcarraldo, and the IMDb synopsis for the film is the story of Brian Sweeney Fitzgerald, an extremely determined man who intends to build an opera house in the middle of the jungle. It is based on the historic events of Peruvian rubber baron Carlos Fitzcarraldo.
Werner Herzog. Erleben Sie die Geschichte eines besessenen Träumers, der mitten im tiefsten Urwald des Amazonas von Caruso und großer Oper träumt und dafür das Unmögliche wagt.
To the hype that I've been hearing about it for years. It's It's not exactly. What can I compare it to? I mean, it's not exactly like a roller coaster ride, like at all. It's a relatively slow. I mean, it's pretty long. It's like 2 hours and 30 minutes more or less. And it's
a long movie.
it's a long movie and it's relatively slow. But that slowness, like, it allows you to like really focus on the situation and the characters, and you kind of like see like everything how everything's like, kind of like boiling. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not like a Michael Haneke movie, and it's not exactly like slow and obtuse because it's not like at all. But it's not exactly an explosive film either. You know, you just kind of like see. It just lets you. Yeah, the situation's brief and like you can feel like the tension rising up slowly, and it's I don't know. It's kind of a big testament to to really the ambition of man. Just in general, and it's Werner Herzog documentaries and so just keep coming through because most of the time it feels like a very stripped down, focused, and realistic film. And later down when you guys see my review of Bird in Her Dreams, you will see that what happens in the movie wasn't really that far off from reality as it was going on. It was pretty much as if they were almost filming the actual making of the film instead of just telling a whole different story.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to watch Burden of Dreams yet, but it's you should be lucky that you watched it clearly in kind of coordination with this.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Sean, what did you think of the film?
I'm so glad that we watched Cobra Verde first because I can see how this is such a success. I don't know. It's like we talked about last week with Cobra Verde being so realistic and having that sort of signature from Herzog. Hold on, excuse me. And I think that Oscar, what you were saying, it really does take you there. It's one of the things about his movies that I'm starting to notice is that it really moves you into Peru, for example. And I mean, I love the slowness. I mean, there's a scene where they're moving the boat uphill and it's just excruciatingly long, but it feels so natural. You know what I mean? He does that a lot. He holds on certain things that are that just really are transformative almost. And the way that like you don't see in this feels a lot more commercial than Cobra Verde did. It was a lot easier for audiences to watch, I think, probably. But just the juxtaposition of the opera in the middle of this, the Amazon, I thought was just still so striking to me. I thought that was really fun to watch.
I'd never seen this film before. It's something. I don't know if it's a good movie. Because I feel like it's an interesting movie, but I'm not sure if it's like a good movie. I really enjoyed it, and I would suggest people to see it, but I feel like a lot of people I know would have a hard time sitting through it. And I think that can be echoed in pretty much every Herzog film we've watched so far this month.
I gotta say, though, I think that I enjoyed watching this more than Cobra Verde because of... I don't know. There's something so universal about the theme of being a dreamer. I mean, it pretty much breaks that down pretty well. I mean, the fact that you really relate to Klaus Kinski, and I think that this is the first time I really, really understood how genius he is as an actor.
Well, and you have to give credit where credit's due to Werner Herzog to actually dragging a boat up a mountain.
Yeah, that is
for real.
And then sending it down to some rapids, like that was amazing to watch.
Yeah, like that's the thing about this movie that you mentioned, Oscar. They did this for real.
Yep.
They were emulating something that actually happened by doing it for real.
Amazing.
And I'm going to echo something I said last week when we talked about Cobra Verde. They don't make movies like this anymore.
No way. That's what I...
Or excuse me. They do. It was called The Revenant, and everyone beat their meat to it. And that movie can't even hold a candle to this movie.
No way, yeah.
Like, that's the only movie I can think of that even comes close to the kind of films that Herzog was making in the 80s and 70s and 90s is The Revenant. And The Revenant, Leonardo DiCaprio had to eat some bison liver or some shit. Like, that's nothing compared to this.
Yeah.
That's nothing compared to this.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Like, I mentioned it in like my review of Burden of Dreams, but I think it's worth mentioning right now. Is that, for example, in that documentary, you have a bit
where Herzog, it's like people are trying to tell him, you know what, why are we putting this boat up the hill? Why can't we just do it with models or something? And he brings something up like it's important. It has to be real because it's like the thematic image of the film, and you kind of go, when, like, right now, would that even fly, like, anywhere? Would that be a good enough justification for any director with any budget right now in the present, in anywhere in the world? Like, can anybody really use that as a reason to justify all the risks and all the dangers that they're going through? Like, wow, this was really a one-of-a-kind situation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's, again, I think that style of filmmaking just doesn't exist anymore. And then when someone makes a film, even remotely attempting to capture what Herzog does in this film, people are like, oh, this is insane. I've never seen this before. It's like, that's because you clearly haven't been watching the right movie.
Yeah.
True.
But I mean, it is so difficult to make movies like this just for so many reasons. But I mean, it kind of, that's one of the things this movie kind of does, is it comments on that. I don't know. There's even like this scene where he takes the cat and throws it on the bed. Like, that is a very real moment that you would almost never see now because people lose their shit over that. But it's so beautiful that, like, that amount of realism that comes through that little moment. I think that it's so hard to see that. And just seeing, like I said before, seeing this real boat really going down rapids and, crashing into the sides of the mountains. I mean, that's just, you don't get to see that unless it's computer animated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and again, I don't think that this film would be nearly as successful if you didn't have one of the greatest actors of all time at the helm.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Klaus Kinski, the fact that man never won an Oscar is astounding to me.
Yeah, where's his hashtag?
Wow.
Right? Hashtag Klaus Kinski. Like, really? Like, does anything any actor do nowadays even hold a candle to anything Klaus Kinski ever did when he was acting?
Probably not. Like, who knows? Like, I mean, not by far not the same thing. Like, whatever Daniel Day-Lewis does that we don't know of. But that's because we don't know everything. But, it's not really, you can't really make a comparison there, like, at all.
And I think Daniel Day-Lewis is about as close as it gets to Klaus Kinski nowadays.
Yeah, I think there's also so many politics involved that, like, that the relationship that Klaus and Werner had, that's, like, also a rare thing, where they have that kind of collaboration and openness with each other. It's hard to find that so much anymore, especially in, like, studio pictures.
Yeah, it's become very rare. Like, I think you obviously have some pretty good collaborations coming up from the last decade or so, and even a bit further. But it's the level. I mean, both behind the scenes and on screen level of of having like this crazy relationship or collaboration with a director and an actor that leads into some outstanding films. It's I have to admit that's something you really don't see anymore. It's very, very rare. Like, I think what happened between Herzog and Kinski was like lightning in a bottle. You really can replicate that. It's extremely hard, and even though it's very common for directors to be very close to some actors and produce some great movies, you really don't see. That's something you don't see exactly like something like exactly the same as Herzog and Kinski. You just don't. That level of I want to say probably recklessness and energy and creativity. That's you don't really see that anymore. It's you don't see it.
Yeah, that's exactly a great word for that, recklessness almost. And I think that's kind of what comes to mind as I watched it. Because and that's what it is. It's like this relationship that they have together, has made some of the best movies in his at least canon. And I think, that's the fun of it. We don't get to see that anymore. These artists taking big risks. This whole movie feels totally off the grid. Like, it really feels like we're in Peru, and it feels like, just the amount of realism that he has in this movie, it really feels like there's something non-traditional about the way they did this, and that it has to be that way. It has to be unique to what their vision is, and I think that's what he's so, especially Herzog, his vision is so stylistic in his own way. It's very unique, it's his own signature.
I'm curious, Oscar, and I knew this is going to come up if I bring it up. In the Burden of Dreams documentary that talks directly about the making of Fitzcarraldo, there's one particular interaction with Herzog and a tribesman, a chieftain of one of the tribes that they work with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, there's plenty of that in the movie, actually.
Do you wanna explain what I'm talking about for those who've never heard about this story? This is I think this is kind of the most indicative story of Herzog and Klaus Kinski's kind of relationship.
Well, damn, where do I begin? I'm trying to specify because there's actually when you get to watch that, just wait because it's there's so many bits and pieces that tell you so much about the making of the film. Let me see.
The one specifically about the tribesmen offering Herzog to kill Klaus Kinski.
Oh, actually, let me tell you something. And I mentioned this in my review. It's unfortunately the documentary. I mean, Bernard Dreams is a very insightful and pretty good documentary about the making of Fitzcarraldo, but they don't exactly go deep much into Kinski's and Herzog's relationship. They really don't. They kind of like leave it to the side, but they don't. Like, I think that particular part, it's in a documentary I haven't watched, and it's called My Best Fiend. I think one of you guys will review it later in the month.
Right.
But, for anyone expecting Burnout Dreams to be like a detailed, thorough expansion about the relationship between Klaus Kinski and Herzog during filming, it's not there. They actually keep it pretty clean. It's almost like they make it look far more diplomatic than it is.
Well, yeah, because I had always heard the story about Herzog being offered during the filming of Fitzcarraldo by one of the chieftains because of Kinski's like notorious temper. They offered to kill him.
Oh my God.
Because I guess they were under the impression that he was challenging the chieftain of the film, which would be Herzog.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
No,
I mean, that's indicative of their relationship as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it is. But yeah, don't expect to see it in Burnout Dreams. Like that was kind of like the disappointing part for me is when I watched it that it's a very diplomatic documentary and doesn't really go much into detail.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
I heard that all the stuff about Kinski and Herzog, especially in the making of Fitzcarraldo, they talk about it in the documentary My Best Fiend.
Oh, okay.
So that really, really goes deep into that, and there's some pretty strong stuff in there about the making of the film and the relationship and their friendship and well, you can call it that, their collaboration. It's not really you don't see much of it in the Burden of Dreams documentary. It's there, but don't expect like a big scene or anything. Like I spent the whole documentary kind of like waiting, and there's some bits and pieces, but it's not there. Like that I guess they took the benefit that such a long time happened between Fitzcarraldo when My Best Fiend came out to do that, because it's easier to talk about that sort of thing many years later instead of just when the movie just came out.
So they saved it all for My Best Fiend. That's what that.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Yeah, it's Burnout is a good documentary, and it gives you a good picture of how hard the movie was to make, and it's a pretty decent and interesting documentary. But yeah, don't expect like that scene at all. It comes much later. It comes in My Best Fiend, from what I know.
Makes me even more excited to watch that movie.
Sean, last week we saw the final collaboration between Kinski and Herzog in Cobra Verde. What did you guys think of Kinski's performance in Fitzcarraldo?
It's impressive. Like, really, I think that the thing with a very talented actor is that even in their smallest moments, you cannot tell like at all they're acting. That tells you everything. They just seem natural. They seem like they own the moment. They seem to be right there. And I don't think Kinski really gets like any massive like Oscar baity moments in this movie, like at all. It's just a very natural, very precise performance, and it's I think that was a testament to how much of a good actor he was. Like if I didn't know anything about Klaus Kinski and Herzog, and I just watched this movie, I will feel like I'm watching like a real person, like somebody. And I think that's also in combination with Herzog's documentary style, because it's so everything's very naturalistic. Like very little is altered or stylized. So you have like a very precise performance. I feel like you're just watching like this happening in real time. And I think that a great performance is like the one from Kinski. That just enables everything.
Yeah, I think I definitely noticed something. I don't know. There's a big difference. I think part of it, of course, has to do with the characters he's playing. But there's definitely a youthfulness in him in Fitzcarraldo that is sort of in Cobra Verde. It's almost like this very used, ragged man that he plays compared to Fitzcarraldo, and it's always this raw. Like I love what I love about Fitzcarraldo is to see him as this dreamer, this passionate person. I saw what you said last week. You said he really becomes it's almost like he's in a trance or something. He becomes this wild beast of an artist, and it's really cool because that is more specifically and more probably directly you can see that in Cobra Verde. He's just like this raw human being. But what's cool about it in Fitzcarraldo is it's almost harnessed a little bit more. But what comes out of it is just this radiant. I don't know. I'm comparing characters, but I really liked seeing that in a more grounded kind of person in this movie, and it really made me understand how brilliant he is. Like crazy, but there's just these wild moments where he goes on raging fits, but it's so believable. When he tries to stop him from turning off the phonograph. That's just raw passion. That's really cool. And I don't see that in performances at all anymore. It's really hard to see something like that, especially over something like about opera, which it's so... You don't see someone fighting for stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, you mentioned Cobra Verde and kind of his performance in that film versus his performance in this film. I think his performance in this film overshadows his performance in Cobra Verde by leaps and bounds. Yeah. This one just feels more naturalistic and real. Like you guys have been saying, I'll echo what you guys have been saying. It doesn't really feel like a performance. It feels real. And obviously because they were having to drag the boat up the side of this portage, what they were doing was real. So that I think that adds to a lot of it. But Klaus Kinski, again, I think he's just... There aren't actors like him anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that actors like him are once in a generation. Because like you guys said, I never felt like he was playing a character.
No way.
I just felt like he was just, I felt like he was the character. Or maybe that's just how Klaus Kinski was, and from everything I've read about him, he seems like he was a real...
pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's passionate about what he does.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, but it's a trouble when it leads you to. I guess kind of like the payoff, sort of. But it's It wasn't just because he was passionate, but also because he had like this really strong personality that you could somehow him as a prima donna, because he was the kind of like guy that would throw a fit over the quality of the food on set, like that sort of thing. And but I guess in a shoot like this, I can see how that can happen. That can make anyone explode like in any second. This movie was just crazy to make, and I'm surprised they didn't actually end up murdering each other.
I mean, I think part of that is of course that being, I can't imagine that an actor like him, because I mean, I'm sure there are who is in the ass like that, like really standing up for, and I have a feeling that I don't know, I haven't seen my best fiend yet, but I'm assuming they'll talk about that. But I have a feeling that sort of energy, along with Herzog, whatever chemistry that created, it really made these movies so unique and so worthy of, remembering now. Even like I think that's what makes them stand out. That unique allowance of letting this actor sort of tirade. I don't know. Like I'm not saying that that's a good thing all the time. And it's definitely, I think, is the result. This is the result of that.
Yeah, Herzog. I think Herzog had a very tenuous at best grasp on how to control Kinski.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing necessarily, because I think in this day and age, a lot of directors rein in their actors so much that they don't even allow them to do anything to this level. Mm-hmm. And allowing actors to do something to the level of this, which is, really this insane performance, and the insane performances that he always was giving Herzog. I think that there's something to be said for a director that's just like, you know what, just do your thing.
Right. And I think that's why he's such like we've been saying this whole time, Werner has such a great eye for human behavior. And like, I think that's what gives him such a great, like, what gives him that sort of ability to work with someone like that. And I mean, that's why he's such a great documentarian, or such a, iconic one, at least, because he knows where to look,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And again, when you have the quality of talent on screen that you do with Klaus Kinski, Herzog, they did fight each other a lot, but what are you gonna do, really?
Yeah, right.
When you know the performance that you're getting.
Yeah, it's something we're fighting for.
That's my thinking, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you know the performance that you're going to be getting, I mean, you can't really fault Herzog for just kind of allowing Kinski to go off and kind of be his eccentric self.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, in the end, just if.
I mean, look what happens when you don't rein him in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he saw like that was the best way to make things happen, with Kinski, then that was it. It was tough, but he made it worth it. I mean, who knows? Maybe like it could have been probably like a happier set if things were different. But I think that Herzog just knew exactly how to direct him, like how to make a film with him. And it really paid off. Like it's all on film now. Like it was probably very painful for the both of them, but I think that in the end, they just saw like the reward, and that made it all worth it.
And it's a great film. I mean, the gimmick of them getting the boat up the side of the mountain aside, the film I think stands on its own as a really interesting look at what drives some people to do the things that they do, mm-hmm. and just the conquistador of the useless.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, who fucking cares? You drag a, and this is directed towards Herzog as much as it is Fitzcarraldo in the film. Why would you do that? Why would you drag a boat up a mountain? Why?
Right.
What would possess you to do that? But it doesn't matter because they did it.
Exactly. That's really. That's even like the message from the story itself. They don't even
mm-hmm.
get the rubber.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror. We'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
And, here's the thing, who will do it again? Probably no one.
Right. That's the thing. Even if it's worth it, you know.
Well, and that's what he says towards the end of the film. You know, they were talking about the first trapper to see Niagara Falls, and no one believed him. And then he said, you know, how do I know it's real? Because I saw it. So
yeah. He
saw them pulling that boat up the side of the steamship up the side of the mountain. It happened, and he saw it. You know, the kind of the look at what humanity is and the things that we can accomplish when we set our minds to it, I think is an interesting thing, and it's just another one of those topics that Herzog just loves to look at. And there's no other person I'd rather have at the helm of a film like this than Herzog.
Yeah.
And because he ends up making it like reflective and stuff like that. I'm not sure like if this is something that he doesn't really do anymore, but I think he definitely did for a while. You know, in next week or so, you know, when I review what's it called, Scream of Stone, you will see that it wasn't as dangerous of a shoot as this one was, but I think that Herzog, for a time at least, I'm not sure if now, he was interested in making films, you know, kind of like part of his journey. And I think actually he had a quote about that no, wait, that's not true. That I'm thinking of another filmmaker, but the directors who end up making, and I think Herzog is one of them, they end up making like the movie about themselves, sort of like it becomes this process where the story of the film reflects the actual story of what's going on behind the scenes. And I think that was Herzog's case, at least for a while, you know, definitely up until, I don't know, like I think Scream of Stone was a couple of years later. So it's just an interesting thing that happens with Herzog, you know, that's sort of like this cycle of the movie reflecting the actual reality of the shoot. Even if that's not intentional. Like, I think this is probably the way that Herzog makes it feel real for itself, and allows us to discern the realism that we see on screen.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I completely agree, and I think that's what one of the many things that I enjoy about Herzog is that his films, there's a personal and human touch to them that isn't there with a lot of other films like this.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's why Klaus and Werner work so well together. They both have they work the same way, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I would agree. Well, Sean, skip it or watch it, best performance.
Definitely watch it. For all the reasons, you know, we've been talking about. You're not going to see stuff like this very much anymore, especially nowadays. It's a long watch. But it's definitely worth it. I think it is. And I love, just for the singing alone was just beautiful. That opening scene is just really captivating. It's for dreamers, so if that's your kind of thing, watch it. And it's definitely my kind of thing. Other than Klaus, this movie has a bunch of really fun characters. I loved Don Aquilino, Jose Lugoy, who played he was the guy that I'm pretty sure that I hope I'm remembering correctly. The guy that takes him up the river the first time. He's a fun character, but no one is better than Kulturecast, my favorite character. Also, I think he's gonna win my vote for best performance this time.
What about you, Oscar?
Okay, first of all, yes, absolutely watch it. I think this movie is a must-see for anyone who has an interest in film, an interest in Herzog, an interest in Kinski, you know, and I think it's a movie that just everybody should see at one point in their lives. And picking someone else that's not Kinski, this performance stuff, but I'm gonna have to go with Claudia Cardinale as Molly. I mean, she's not really in the movie much, but she makes quite an impression, probably because she's Claudia Cardinale. But also, I like the sort of quiet, stable balance of her as a character, and she's really did a good job, you know, sort of reflecting. She doesn't get a lot of dialogue, but still, you know, her performances comes off very natural, and she is still, I mean, you can just recall her what she's doing, as you can see the contrast she provides to Fitzcarraldo. You know, that's the contrast you can see in her personality, but at the same time, you know, you get shades of her being this interesting character because she owns a brothel and all this, you know, kind of the quiet support she gives Fitzcarraldo, and
it's I don't know. I really like her. Like it's also the Sean stole like the other character I really liked. So it's tough because this movie's so rich with so many minor characters. It's kind of like tough to pick one, but at the same time, you have this great performance in Kinski as Fitzcarraldo. That's even tougher to pick someone else because you just he's pretty much the whole movie, and it's hard to pick anyone else.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Oscar. For me, it's a watch. I mean, obviously, I think this is one of Herzog's best films. I haven't seen Aguirre in so long, I don't remember how this stacks up against it, but we'll be watching that here soon enough. And best performance for me, Jose Lugoy as Don Aquilino. I mean, he's kind of like a rubber baron who's trying to figure out what Fitzcarraldo is all about, but at the same time, I don't think he wants to see him fail, but, he takes advantage of the situation when he does.
I just love how he likes to lose money. I think that's hysterical.
Yeah, there's nothing better than losing money. Yeah, all right.
It's like ecstasy.
That's random. Well, what do you guys think the film has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Like, I'm gonna go with 90%.
Yeah, I'll say like 80, late, like upper 80s, 88.
83%, however, it does not have a critic's consensus.
Oh.
So, but it has really high, so that shouldn't come as a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, before I talk about this Thursday's Kulturecast, Oscar, anything you want to plug?
Well, yes. There's. Let me see if I can give you the full name. It's a really cool article I read this week about my city. It's let me see if I can give you the full name because it just came out. They published this on Vice. It's actually like a week old now, but let me see if I can. There's so much disinformation about what's going on in the border and that kind of thing, and because I think that people stay with a picture of Mexico that's accurate, but also pretty much outdated. And I feel it's really important for certain stories to come through because they're not really told anymore. And I think this piece is complex. It captures both the good side and the bad side of everything that's been happening in the border since the drug war. And I think it's worth talking about. It's called Life After Death in Juarez. And you can find it on Vice. And it's a piece by Robert Andrew Powell. It's a really good piece. It's not exactly very long, but it's the perfect length. You can read. I think you can definitely read in less than half an hour. It's an excellent piece about sort of what's been going on in the border, and so pretty much sold from the perspective of sports. And I think it's worth reading for anyone that wants a more thorough and complex picture of what's going on in the border. Because I was watching Sicario the other day, and it's a pretty good movie. But I just thought anyone who watches the movie and think that's reality, that it's not really that's not full reality at all.
Yeah.
It's something very complex, and I think this article does a great job in portraying that sort of complexity.
That's awesome.
What about you, Sean?
Nothing new. Lonely and Horny is officially fully out on Vimeo, and it's all the episodes are out. So check that out. It stars Jake and Amir from College Humor. And as usual, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Seanifer, and on Facebook, I'm Sean Liang.
And you can follow me on Twitter at CultureStash. And if you like what you're hearing now, go over to cultureshock.com/Kulturecast to check out 100 plus episodes of the Kulturecast where you can hear us jawing about all kinds of things. This Thursday, we're going to be talking about Marvel's Civil War, Captain America Civil War, I guess. Should just be called Avengers Civil War.
That's what I
yeah. So yeah, this Thursday we're going to be talking about Captain America Civil War. Big thanks to you, Oscar, for sitting down and talking Fitzcarraldo with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And as always, big thanks to Evoca for allowing us to use their song Lament as the intro-outro music for the Kulturecast. And if you feel like helping us out a little bit, head on over to patreon.com/culture_shocked to help us out Every small dollar helps. It'll help us keep the lights on, and it'll help us keep putting out some great content. Make sure to check out this Thursday's Kulturecast.